Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Thiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 1 p.m. Central Time, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon, and that's 2 o'clock Eastern Time out there. So hi there to my new friends who are in Abbeville, South Carolina. It's so good to be with you guys. It's so refreshing, and I'm going to tell you what, this is Trump country big time. I haven't met a liberal yet. I don't know if they even have any. But anyway, it's really close to Anderson, and out there, Clemson football is big, and South Carolina football is big. The first question I'm asked is, are you for Clemson or South Carolina? And I'm like, I don't know. Educate me what I need to be for. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. You can find us on television syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget that podcast. It's growing like gangbusters. The Newscasters.com, the Newscasters.com. I have Victoria Lee Scott, and she's like head. I'm surprised I can even get her on the show. I mean, this girl is so busy. And so you're like the part. As a matter of fact, I was talking with Murray the other day.
Yes.
And he said Victoria is the one that gets everybody set up. Victoria is like the head.
Yeah, I kind of, well, you know, let's really be honest here. There was something put inside of me years and years ago. And I remember in 2004, there wasn't even a word podcasting, Donna. And I remember sitting here banging on my desk going, is this thing on? Is anybody listening to me?
Out there. We've all been through that.
So, and all I did is, to be honest with you, I followed something that was inside of me. I put my head down, and every time somebody was like, oh, you can't do that, my answer was, watch me. Watch me. And it's same thing too, even when I was a bodybuilder. Oh, you can't do that at your age. And I'm like, I can't. Watch me. Oh, hi, have you seen my gold and silver medal? I mean, don't be ridiculous. But I don't take the credit on myself, to be honest with you. There was something that needed to be accomplished. And you and I were chosen a long time ago to be where we are right now. And the blessing is that we're able to do it together now. But we've been on this path in order to bring good, strong American voices back. We've lived through the last decade of some really bad, just really bad energy, especially the last four. The last four were really painful, especially for people like you and I and our listeners that are kind of aware of what has been going on, but really didn't know what they could do about it. COVID was actually a plus for us because our parents got to look over at their children in their pajamas going, this is your school? This is what you're doing?
What was meant for a harm wound up being a blessing.
Right. And exactly. And the same thing for me. I wound up in finishing my degree during COVID. Serious? I mean, to send my commencement photo to my father at this age, my 94-year-old father, say, do you see? I did it. I just didn't do it the way you wanted me to do it. Mm-hmm. And I kid you not, because for years he would say he wasted his money on my early education. Mm-hmm. Because when I finished at Hofstra, he said, well, what are you going to do now? And I looked at him and I went, I'm going to go to hairdressing school. And he was furious. He didn't talk to me for a very long time because he felt that I could have just went to hairdressing school at cosmetology in BOCES. He didn't need to put up with garbage and to pay for college for me to tell him I'm now going to hairdressing school. Uh-huh. But it was a great feeling, Donna, to be able to say, stop saying you wasted your money. Number one, I have owned my business for 30 years. If I did not have that early business education, Daddy, I might not have been able to keep my business alive. This year, it's 30 years. And I went through the 2008 market crash. I went through everything, throwing out if you have a job appointment.
Thing called COVID. You survived that. A lot of people went out of business, Victoria.
Oh, and they still are. Mainly now, hairdressers are really paying the price. You want to know why? Because YouTube has got hairdressers commenting on teaching people how to do their haircuts on YouTube or online, and then they're also coloring. So it would be very popular for me to, just as you are, and you're in your living room, and I'm going to critique what you're doing in your bathroom, and you're going to say, all right, I'm going to dye my hair, and I'll be over there going, no, Donna, you missed the whole back, and you're over there doing great. So they have a whole new now for hairdressers critiquing home hairdressers.
So everything has evolved. Things change.
That's my point. My point is in every industry, even this industry. I sent my girls last week, Tony, you're going to die. I sent my girls a video of somebody getting their hair cut by a robot.
What?
China now is robots do your hair. They're no humans, they're robots.
Yeah, but I want to talk to my hairdresser.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to say. Maybe I know YouTuber while you're doing your hair.
Communicating.
And that's the reason why I was drawn to build this company. Because what have I done? I have been very strategically and carefully uniting good, strong voices with people that have strength, hope, and experiences to share. That's what we've built here. And that's what was needed. You know, right now we're gonna have a cooking show. Mr. Ottolini is coming on with a cooking show. I've got a fitness show that's in the works. I've got so many different right now. We have a lot of new podcasters. I tour them around the whole site. I lay everything out, and I've been told that we are very impressive with what we have created, Miss Giselle, and you and Phil are a very big part of this company.
I was glad to be on the Vegas side of it. I got to be chosen. Thank you for letting me.
All right. Well, let me tell you what I do with you, just so you know now. So as I'm taking each and every person around on the website, I start off on the home page, and then I go down, and then we go to the spotlight, explain that, and then the contributors. We go through all of that. Then when I get, as you know, the only banner ad on the whole website, it's Virgin Real Estate. And I've kept it like that for a reason until we were all strong enough to now get some good sponsorship and not just Google AdSense or AdCrit or anything like that. So what I do is I have the one banner for my salon because I've always been the prototype in building this. And on top of my channel are Two Green Eyes with Sunset Sports Salon is the banner. So I take them to my channel and I show them that these banners are sponsors that could be put in every other show, every fifth show, whatever you want. On the blog page, I take them to the insights, which is the blog page, and then I show all the blank side on the right and say, this is small box advertising. But what I do then, Donna, is I take them back to the studio and I have them go to Donna Fizell, go to the Edge, open up Donna's show. And I show them, I said, this is what Donna has created on her own. And I make them go through. I said, see Fox News Radio, you see the accounting, you see the lumber. So I bring them through to show them that it is revenue based and there is a way, and it has been done. So I want you to know that every podcaster that comes on sees your channel. So they all,
thank you.
I bring them all to you and Phil because it's impressive. I mean, it is. It's to me, it's impressive. Each show, it's not like the same thing repetitive. I show them, I said, see, and then I bring them all the way down. I said, Michael's is here, Lindell is here, and I show them. I said, these are her local businesses that. So I show them that just to let them know that's what they're meant to do. But now this week we are releasing and launching. I hired a marketing company. So we are launching a whole campaign to bring sponsors now to our studios. So when there's something for homes or whatever then comes in, somebody like that, they're going to wind up on your page. And then different. So I have control, and that's what I'm going to I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, but I do know what I'm doing right now, and that's all that matters.
Well, and I love that approach, and we'll tell you why. Because life happens, things change. You know that. So we were supposed to be moving to Abbeville, South Carolina a month ago. Well, things just kept coming up, and I was like, well, God, do you actually want us to move? Because, I mean, it just seems like Things keep backing up.
Just wasn't the timing.
Timing. You
Yes.
are so right about that, Victoria. I mean, it's got to be the right timing, because I think if it had been a month ago, I got quite a few blessings so far.
Yes.
I've got some sponsors already.
And that's
I think it was too soon. It had to be now.
It had to be. And that's how I feel now. Now the advertising on the website, it is clean enough. There are over close to 50 podcasters now.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the advertising now, the launch, Talk Media, Mr. Day, he trusted me. He says, here, what do you need? And I went, And he gave it to me. He gave me what I needed to get the company. Everything is set. The whole launch is ready right now. And once it launches, then we're into the next level. So right now I've done the whole marketing thing to get new podcasters in under this umbrella now. Because when this and the advertising changes, then the site, then again, it changes. So when people say what it is, this and that, and I tell them, and I'm honest, and they're like, well, what is this going to cost? So at the end, they always ask. And I said, here's what I'm going to tell you. Right now, I want nothing from you, not a penny. I don't want anything. I want to get your studio set up, and I want to get you set up. But I guarantee you, I said, and what I will be doing is in a month or 2 months, when the advertisers and the sponsorships start coming in, I will be sending you an email. And the only thing, if you come in at this level, along with all of those that I've built so far, it will only be $19.99 a month for a hosting fee. And that's it to begin. Because these are only just my beginnings, Donna. I do nothing for the money. And the Lord said, so everybody so far that I talk to, when they leave me, they're going to go fill out an application. Murray's counselor is like, what are you doing? I've got over 3,000 profile views on impressions on LinkedIn. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just talking to people. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I really like the communication you guys have with each other. And this is because sometimes you see this, there'll be businesses will pop up, but the people involved don't get along with each other. I just wanted to let you know that Murray and also Mr. Day speak very highly of you. Every time they're on the show, they're always bragging about you.
Oh, that touch. I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that with me.
They always
I do know, and I don't question anything, mainly because of the rapport that I have with each one of them. Mr. Day, after every board meeting on Monday, because the three of us, we do a board meeting every Monday, the three of us. And so what we're doing, we've done this from the very beginning. I call everybody in and we're on, and we do our board meeting. But I can always tell by the gratitude in their voices thanking me. And I didn't know they spoke of me, to be honest with you. And thank you for sharing that.
And they smile when I mention your name. They smile.
Well, they are wonderful. I couldn't ask. I mean, we have worked everything. We have never once had a stalemate, a standoff or anything. It seems that in the beginning of this, I think, what was really important, Donna, in the beginning of this, early on, I stressed how important the chain of command was. And it's very important to me. And everything has maintained that. Murray would never think of going around me or Clint. We don't go around each other. We inform. It is. It's because there's, if you don't have the trust in one another. I mean, Mr. Day came in and he's like, can you build this? And I'm like, yes, sir, I can. Here's what it's going to take. And Murray and I hammered out every penny of what it was going to be to go to Mr. Day to create what we needed. And I don't, and we've stayed to the contract that the three of us signed together and what our jobs were going to be due to where we are right now. Donna, we only launched this company December. It was a year. We are in the App Store with over 100,000 hits to the App Store on Google, Android, and Apple a day. I mean, so my point is this is about uniting good voices. This is not anything about what I've done. And I think the Lord has kept me, he has kept me separated for so many years, decades, for me to realize what it took for me to have the faith to believe in blind faith. I was paranoid, Donna, paranoid growing up my whole life, what I would be like at 50. I am telling you, paranoid. I was so afraid of being a foul-mouthed, gum-chewing, beehive hairdo bartender. Okay? I kid you not. Paranoid. And I will never forget, as a child, I was so tiny, because I'm little. I'm not a big girl at all. And I remember my father, because I was raised by my dad, taking me to our family physician, Dr. Forrest, and to see, is she all right? You know, doesn't grow. Because I used to sit on my bed and cry. When am I going to grow? When everybody's getting growing, Victoria's not growing. When am I going to grow? So he took me to Dr. Forrest to make sure I was okay. Dr. Forrest, yeah, late blooming, no big deal. I didn't want to hear that. I had to be like 11 or 12 at this time, until Dr. Forrest leaned over to me. And he said to me, you're gonna love the way you look when you're 50. And I remember going, 50? Daddy, I'm old now. I don't want to wait till I'm 50. It wasn't until I was 50, down to the vision of the white terry cloth robe. And I stood there at 50. I opened the robe in the mirror and I went, thank you, Dr. Forrest. My point being is, there was something about not in my time was the lesson that I learned. And that, the story I shared mainly is because that should be a lesson for all of us. We want what we want, but if we really have the faith to believe that what we want, we deserve, then we can have the perseverance and the patience for that gift to present it to us. And that's how I live. I really do. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I lived in homes where, oh my God, don't put your glasses on. I was afraid of what I was going to see when I put my magnifiers on.
You remind me of Bonnie Raitt. Okay, so she was a late bloomer. I mean, she had been singing just about all her life. She had to be thinking, well, when's it going to be my turn? So then she sings this hit, and it's like she's an overnight sensation.
Exactly.
She was like 50 something, wasn't she?
Yeah.
When she made it.
I'll be really, really honest with you.
And let's give them something to talk about. That's a good song right there.
And if that does happen to me, and I'll be really honest, and I can't believe I'm going to be this honest, but I have felt like that my whole life. I have felt like there was going to be a point in my life that was going to be life-changing, world-changing, earth-shaking for Victoria. I have always. So it has been very important for me to continue. Like, Donna, I haven't had a drink in 35 years. Because when I looked at 50-year-olds, I'm like, no, that doesn't, that ain't pretty at all. I know that ain't pretty. I need to make, and I would always say in the salon to my hairdressers, don't waste the pretty. Don't waste the pretty. Don't waste the pretty. So my point is I've come to this stage now at the age I'm at, where I am at an age where, to tell you the truth, I have nothing but gratitude. I don't take anything for granted. I just look and I can say, I do my yoga, I lift my weights, I can still wear a bikini. I mean, seriously. And it's just that I have worked for this. I'm not putting it anybody, and I don't care, and I don't need anybody to look at me, fawn over me. I don't care. I did this because there was something that the Lord put inside of me, because he wanted me to grow into his light here on this earth. And that's what I've done. If I can say, from all the garbage and the horrors I found myself in, I kid you not, to be the woman I am today, there is nothing but pure gratitude. And thank you, Father, 35 years ago, when you said to me, on my way to the darkest place in my life, have faith, Victoria. And I was like, what the hell is faith? And he said, F-A-I-T-H, feelings arriving inside the heart. And I've never had another drink since that day. And I've never turned around, because as confined and ugly as my world was, for the first time in my life, Donna, I was free. I was free. I was going to change not because of anybody or anything or any man or any parent or any sister or brother that did anything. I was going to change for Victoria because he told me I could. You put down that drink, Victoria, and I will change your path. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I've never looked back, and I don't regret a single moment. But waiting, how many people sit there, and how many times have you heard, hey, you're still doing that radio thing? Yeah. Now I'm the president of that radio thing.
I really don't understand because my studio is out of my house. Most of them are relatives, and they think you're just doing something for fun. They think they don't understand. I'm actually making
research
doing this. So I mean, they don't get it, but because they're not willing to change. Okay, COVID hits. Best thing that could ever happen to my career. I mean, I'm just telling you, I hate it that it happened. And Fauci's going to pay one of these days for that. He's going to pay bad. But anyway, what was meant for our harm actually wound up being a good thing because I have asthma. And so I was renting space from a radio station so I could have, because I thought I had to have one. And so the lady who owned it was hoping I would buy it. And I didn't want it. It was like old material and old. And I just didn't want it. And she said, you have asthma and you scare me to death. She said, I'm afraid you're going to get COVID and you're going to wind up on a respirator. You're going to wind up dead. And she said, all you've got to do, she said, there are talk show hosts who are just using spare bedrooms out of their house. Find a spare bedroom, host the show from there because you scare me. And I said, I'm not disciplined enough. I've got to physically go somewhere and do this show. And she said, no, you don't.
No.
She said, I know that people are watching your show. They don't care about this radio station. She said, they're watching your show and I know this. And she just wanted to get rid of the station anyway. And so I said, well, let me talk to my sponsors and see if they'll follow me. And I talked to them. They said, yeah, we've been following you anyway. I'd been at 3 different stations. And they said, yeah, we'll go wherever you go. And I said, well, I'm going to a spare bedroom in my house. And they said, well, care. Whatever. And so Phil built me a studio, had me a studio built. And
that's what Lawrence did. He cut out a whole armoire here.
Say what?
Lawrence built this studio I have in front of me here. Lawrence built. This is a huge armoire. He took the doors off. He cut it all out. He put the computers all up in here. He took the drawer out so the desk is out, the one that slides in. He made it stay out permanent. And he created a whole studio with the drawer. Everything is right here. The speakers, everything is here.
See, that's where you and I, and sometimes I take Phil for granted. But we have men who supported us. Now, a lot of women don't. But now I think it's because we proved to the men that we're hard workers. And so Phil's like, no, you don't need to be in a bedroom. Let get you a studio built. You know, you need to feel like you're professional. You need
exactly.
So the rest is history. It's just like now I've been doing this since 2020.
Yeah.
2025, been 5 years. Now the show will actually be in production 20 years, April 1st.
Wow. I've been actually in production since 21 years.
Mm-hmm.
March 30th.
How are we?
Yeah, March 30th, 2004 was when Lawrence and he would see, I still can pull up our shows together. He was a host with me. We did our shows together back then. And then when he got sick, he was my greatest fan. He would lay there and it was incredible back then. And, he loved, and I finished with my show, and he was my biggest fan. And I kept it going because it was me doing the radio gave him the energy to finish and complete writing his books. Mm-hmm. So the radio and everything.
Together. I mean, it worked out. But did you know what date it is? It's April the 1st. April the 1st will be 20 years. So this is the guy who owned the station. I said, well, when would it start? And he said, I think it needs to be April 1st. And I said, everybody's going to think that's a joke, April Fool's Day and all this kind of stuff. And he said, no, I'm thinking of you. He said, because you're really, but like every time he would ask me our wedding anniversary date, I'd get it wrong. I mean, I'm terrible when it comes to dates like that. So he said, I want it to be a date that you're always going to remember.
Right.
April 1st.
Yeah. It would be funny. Mine was March 30th.
Uh-huh. We're just, I mean, How we have so many things in common, it's just not even funny, Victoria.
Hey, oh, hold on a second. I know you ought to, but when we finish, you got to see my avocado. You got to see my.
Okay, let's go into a commercial break.
And I'm going to go grab it.
Go get it, and we'll be right back.
I am. Okay.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring. But the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. Or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. Okay, I'm impressed. You're Farmer Victoria now. So tell me what's this?
I kid you not. Serious. I am so proud. I put a cozy on it at night so it stays warm when it was cold here. But it was interesting because you had said to me with the toothpicks in the water. And the next thing I knew, this long root grew. And then I said to you, and I said, well, what should I do? And you were like, find a pot, get your soil and put it in. Next thing I knew, this leaf. And then there's one more now. You see the itty bitty baby? Where at this side? See the itty bitty coming right in the middle there now? Mm-hmm. So we got one more coming up. So
right,
this is
let me tell you what you need to do, and you're going to think.
Tell me, because I have no idea. So tell me.
Okay, what you need to do, leave that little leaf there. You need to get a pair of scissors. You need to cut the 2 big leaves in half. Because what's going to happen if you don't
this way or that way?
Cut them in half.
No, in half, long ways or short ways? Like
short
when So when I cut them in half this way, not that way.
Yeah.
This
The right. Yeah. That's
like
right.
that.
Because this is what you're doing.
What?
Okay, right now, if you're not careful, if you don't do this, and you do this with all plants, when they start growing and they come from the seed,
Tell me what. Yeah.
with your scissors. So what's going to happen is all that energy is, if you're not careful, if you don't do this, there's going to be too much energy going to those leaves right now. The focus needs to be the roots.
Okay. Oh, okay.
This is what I learned. See, I went back to school too, went to Auburn University and started taking.
See.
So see, I mean, you're not too old. I mean, to learn things. But so anyway,
All right, so I'm gonna cut these all in half, all three of them, even the little baby one.
No,
there.
leave the baby one. Leave the baby one.
Just the two big ones.
Just the two big ones.
Okay,
so
ready?
What it's going to do is it's going to spurt more growth. And it's
Okay,
going to hit that root ball, because this is what's happening. So we're all learning something here about plants.
Yes.
And so you've got the roots. That's the base of your plant. So they're doing good, or you wouldn't have the leaves, okay? You've got the stem, then you have the leaves. So when you do this, if you don't do this, what's going to happen is the growth's going to get stunted. And all the energy is going to go into some great big old leaves, and you're not going to have a good root system. So you've got a good root system. Did you know that you can put that in water?
No.
Grow roots off of those two things.
Are you serious? Floated in the water?
No, you need to have it just a little bit of water, and just put them just to where it covers, just barely covers
Just the bottom where I cut it.
Or you can put them in dirt and let them go ahead and start. Yeah, you can go ahead and put them in dirt.
Could I put them in this dirt with that pot?
Put them in there.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plant them in there.
I'm
going
to have 3 plants. See, if you buy one plant, you'll never have to buy another plant ever again.
I didn't know anything about
avocado like you did. You're eating an avocado. Save the pit. There's things that you can do, and people don't understand. These are things that people did in the Depression. People were smart during the Depression. They didn't starve.
Yes, that's right.
Did you know? Do you like cabbage? Do you like slaw?
I do.
You like lettuce?
Yes. I eat salad continually. Kale, red cabbage.
That bottom, don't ever throw that away. If you don't eat that bottom part of the lettuce or the cabbage, cut it off, put it in dirt. You'll have another cabbage plant. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I am not kidding, because this is what I love. I don't know what made me do that. And you were like, put some toothpaste, put in the water. And it became like my baby. Every day I'm watching it, and I'm watching the root get like this and like this.
Isn't it amazing? Yeah. The things you can actually do, that I don't throw anything away. I mean, I don't. Okay. You know the pithy part of an orange? You know, the pithy part is got this kind of a.
Yes.
That nobody wants to eat.
Right.
That's the best thing in the world for your skin.
Really?
Let me tell you how to make it edible. So what you do is you peel your orange, or you can cut it in slices and dehydrate it. Let it get really, really dry. Put it, you know how you have a coffee grinder?
Yep.
Okay. Once it dries, there can be absolutely no moisture to it at all. Okay. Or otherwise,
right.
No moisture, it's going to rot, and it's going to, it'll be terrible.
Gotcha.
So you can make sure it's completely dehydrated. Put it in your coffee grinder, make smoothies out of it. And it's collagen. Doctors don't want to tell you about this. Dermatologists don't want to tell you about it. Okay. I'm 65. That's what I do. And you can also do facials with it.
Yeah, I love that. That's fantastic.
You can pay $300 for a jar of collagen, or you.
And not only that, but I have a smoothie every day. I make my own smoothies. I take smoothies to work every day. Every day.
This is the thing. It won't take but about a teaspoon a day.
That's what I'm laughing at. It's already I am already disciplined. I kid you not. I do either a strawberry or a strawberry and blueberry. But I have smoothies every morning. I think I have it because I like the whipped cream topping, but I'm not going to go.
And this is what I do. I like to go to the grocery store. They'll have a cart at the grocery store. They'll have marked down vegetables and fruits.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Yeah.
And then if it's like a bunch of oranges for $1 or whatever. And that's what I do all the time. I always find and then I'll cut those oranges in small slices. I'll put it in my food dehydrator, and then I make it's a powder. I make a powder out of it.
You know what's really interesting? I just picked up. Where is it? I just picked up a book, and it is really interesting. It caught me here, and I thought it was fantastic. How about Beauty Secrets of the Bible? How about the book? I saw
that's my Bible right there.
I saw this book, and this is the Ancient Arts of Beauty and Fragrance. I saw this book. I'm like, I have got to get this book. I was thinking of doing a show or doing something that put tip of the day or so. I don't know, but I thought it was the greatest find. I really did.
It's awesome, and all those things people throw away, you can make food out of it.
It is amazing what we can do with what because I remember I was raised by an Italian grandmother, so I still wash out baggies. Okay, I can't help it, but I cannot sit here and just continually throw away Ziploc bags, because when I do, I buy everything in bulk. So then I'll put in the muffins in the freezer, so I put them individual. The croissants in the freezer, I put them individual. So I use the little sandwich bags. But I wash them out because next week I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? I just can't see throwing those away. And I reminded so much, I laugh at myself, from my Italian grandmother, because she did not, she made use of everything. I mean, who would have ever known that, I remember watching her take this disgusting ham bone and making soup soup out of it. I know, but I was a little kid going, what are you going to do with that ugly thing? We'll make soup, and she made slippy soup out of it, and which was incredible. But the point is she didn't let anything, and I learned so much about, we've gotten so spoiled, with things, and even the foods, Donna. I'm sorry, but majority of foods don't taste the same.
Trump could have not made a better choice than Kennedy.
Isn't this great? I mean, let's just go there for a moment. Kash Patel now, every one of his picks get a round of applause from me. Let me ask you
this, and I'm sure you know about this because you keep up this stuff like I do. Okay, so the military, it's like they're being overflowed with people who want to join the military now.
Yes.
Now, why, in your opinion, why are people all of a sudden wanting to join the military?
Well, let's see. Because maybe they want to be men again.
So we don't have a man dressed up like a woman in a skirt and high heels.
Exactly. Or even Homeland Security, the bull one in a dress with red lipstick, stealing designer women's clothing out of airport. But the point is I think what's happening, and the reason why you're seeing that, because believe it or not, the Gen Z are Trumpsters. Mm-hmm. There's a difference. There is a difference from millennials to whatever came after them, that lost, forgotten generation.
Bless their hearts.
I'm serious. I hope you're all pretty, but make it work for you. But the generation following that is totally different. And we have to give a lot of credit to Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk has been on college campuses changing the voice of our children. I mean, you have to realize our children have been given 1/2 of America's history. So we are to blame. Those that educated the generation behind us. It is our fault. We dropped the ball. We didn't give them the information. You ask a 23-year-old to tell you anything about the Constitution. What can you tell me? What can you name one thing out of the Declaration of Independence? No, they weren't taught that. They don't know that. But good thing that there was a generation that came after them, that something changed. I don't know if it was us parents looking over and saying, you know what? This isn't acceptable. I don't care. You're getting up. You're sitting at your...
COVID helped.
That's what I'm saying. I honestly think that, first of all, I think kids were so bored out of their minds that they wanted to go to school. They hated being home. That's why they kept getting more and more depressed. They had no social life. Everything from these kids were taken. I kid you not. We have one generation that had no middle school graduation and also didn't have a high school prom or graduation. That's one generation that didn't have that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we are talking about this is a mindset. This changes their thinking. Remember what I said before, create the world around you by the means of the world within you. If you've got crap in, you're going to get crap out. True. I hate to say it, but it's true. I've been doing hair in my salon for 30 years this year. I have right up the street, I have elementary, middle school, high school, and college. I do all their hair because I'm next to a donut shop. Mm-hmm. So they all come after school, before school, and after school at the donut. I can tell what time it is by which age, which class is there, high school, elementary. But the thing is that I've watched, and I also was very blessed to go back to school and have to deal with that another generation. And because you have to talk, you have to DQ 2 people a day, and trust. To try to talk to a 19-year-old, Donna, and try to explain why I'm taking the stand I'm taking was not an easy task. But what I found is that I think through COVID and everything else, I think there was a generation that kind of said, there's got to be something more. There's got to be something different.
They feel like they were jilted.
100. Now, what we have to really be careful about is when they start correlating the debt that they have incurred to the money that has been wasted, that's when they're going to wake up. When Charlie Kirk turns around and says to them, like, oh, the reason why you don't have this is because that money went to house illegals. That's why you don't. You used to get your dorm paid for, not this year. Why? Oh, but once they start realizing, like, wait a minute, here's my favorite thing. You know how my kids are waking up? This is how I'm waking up my children. All right. I tell them, here, I have a $50 bill. All right. Mm-hmm. And now I give it to you and you have a $50 bill. Now you go to the hairdresser and you pay for your hair with your $50 bill. Hairdresser goes and goes buy products with the $50 bill. Now, at the end of all of that, I tell them, what do you have? What is the value of that cash all the way through? $50, right? Now I explain to them, if you go and you use your credit card or your debit card, every person that goes through until you get there, your $50 now has a value of $5 because of all the fees that you were paid through everybody that dollar has now lost. It is now worth $5. And they're looking at me going, what? And I'm saying, do you understand what I'm telling you? I said, so you're losing your value. You're not understanding, thinking you're just swiping. Mm-hmm. When you get to the end, look, you had a $50 bill when you started, and it's ending, and it only has a $5 value. So
and
they look.
They start working somewhere, and they think I'm making $10, $12 an hour. They think they're really taking home $10, $12 an hour, and then they get that sticker shock, where you see somebody named Uncle Sam is taking a whole bunch of stuff out of my paycheck.
Well, you start telling me, like, all right, first thing, here's your paycheck. You pay FICA. All right, that comes out. Social Security comes out. All that comes out. Now, wait a minute. Now you got your car, and you got to register your car, so you got to go pay that tax. Now you go to the gas station, you got to put gas in your car. Now you got to go pay that tax. When you start labeling and making this next generation aware that every single thing, we are going to wind up like the Boston Tea Party, taxation without representation, and they are going to revolt. Mark my words.
I think
you know that this country has been destroyed at the mayoral level. I have been saying this for years.
I agree.
I'm
I
serious.
totally agree. And let me tell you something. It's okay. So you would go to a city council meeting. You're not supposed to mention Jesus' name now because you're going to offend a Muslim or you're going to offend some whatever. You're going to offend, someone who's an atheist, doesn't even believe in God. But now that they wanted illegals to come in, it's okay to mention Jesus' name. And here's what they do. So you'll say, I thought you were city council members for the citizens who voted you in as a city council, or you're the mayor. And I thought that you were supposed to be on the lookout for us. We pay the taxes. We voted you in. Why are you protecting the illegals instead of us? Here's what they'll say. Well, now, Donna, Jesus loves everybody.
Absolutely not. You're not going to hold that over.
And don't pulling it on me, because here's what my response is. Oh, so now we can mention Jesus' name. I'm glad that there's a reason that we can, because before, when I would mention Jesus' name, you said I was offending a Muslim. You said I was offending, someone who's an atheist. Whatever, I'm offensive now. But now that you're apparently getting some money in your pocket because of all this kind of stuff, so now it's okay to mention Jesus' name.
Okay. Yeah. And then we're seeing, come on, if we're not seeing hypocrisy, I am not kidding. If I put on and I'm like, what? I can't believe. I cannot believe we are watching the veil being pulled back on the corruption that is destroying this country. And you don't even have the mentality to realize and at least acknowledge.
What is wrong with all these people who are crying out on the streets all over the place? What in the world?
I don't
have a better America, for goodness sakes. They're going to stop taking your money and giving it to people who don't work.
And that's the problem. We have created a total lazy. When I have a hairdresser calling me and saying me, well, I'm going to take a mental health day. And I turn around and I says, if you want to keep your mental health, you'll be here by 11.
Wait a minute. I've not heard that one. I'm taking a mental health day.
I'm taking a mental health day.
I was going through a divorce. I had a young kid. I was working for a company. I didn't even mention people didn't even know I was going through a divorce. It was just like, I had to get out there and
I had a child on life support and I'm still doing hair. Okay. I had Lawrence dying at home with lung cancer and I'm still going to the salon. No. Mental health day, you better be here by 11 or you're really going to need a mental health day.
You know what started all this stuff? I don't believe in beating children, but I think a nice little swat on the behind is a good thing.
Let me tell you something. I totally do.
Time out for you, little Johnny, little Susie.
Let me tell you, just an angel. I do not believe in that, number one. But I will be very honest with you. If you are properly raising a child, there will come a time where that child does something and you want to protect that child. But in order to do that, you have to make sure that that child completely understands what they had done that really made you. Okay, because with just an angel, I can count the amount of times I would lift her up. I'm a right-handed woman, and I'll tell you the 3 times I can tell you exactly what I did and what she did. And I lifted her up, and boom, tail lit that little bottom. I am not kidding, because here's what I realized, Donna. If I would have did that whole time out, no. Sometimes they are heading down a course that a parent can see that is going to hurt them. And you know what? You have to do something so dramatic to change their course, bottom line. And if you don't, sooner or later, I wanted to change her course when she was 3 or 4. I did not want to change her course at 13 and 14. That's
it's
what I
too late. It is
either I do it now.
I don't understand. Okay, I have a niece who has 4 boys.
Yep.
And it's to the point where you don't want them at your house because they will prowl, they will get in it, they will do everything. Phil loves 57 Chevys. That's his guy. So I found this model car. It's 57 Chevy for him. It's a collectible. It's not a toy.
I know.
He goes into our bedroom and finds this and tears the wheels off of it, and he tears the steering wheel off of it. Then this is when he was about 4 years old. He was way beyond, in my opinion, knowing not to do that. So I had this flower arrangement and I had marbles in it. You know how sometimes you'll just do that, So we had a sliding glass window. He gets the marbles and he's throwing them at the sliding glass window. And I looked at my niece and she wasn't saying a word and she saw him doing this. So I just walked over to him and I said, I can't let you do that, sweetie. That's all I said. Well, he looked like I just shot him. And I didn't even spank him. I didn't do anything. I just said, I'm not going to let you do that.
No.
Then my niece was ready, of course, to leave, after I did that.
Of course.
But
I'm sorry.
They don't have discipline. I'm sorry. Because if they tear up stuff, when I was raising Brad, one time somebody said, you must give him spankings every day. And I said, he's had maybe 2 in his whole life.
Just and he just had 3.
I told you. I mean it. Don't tear stuff up. And before we would go to somebody's house, I would say, don't get into anything. You can play, you can be a kid, but don't tear anything up.
I get it. And even with my salon, I've had children, continually in my shop. I had one, I guess Jesse had to be second year of college. And his mom brought him, I guess they were just hanging out. And he's talking to me and explaining, Jesse's, in college. And he's talking, and it's F this, F that, F this. Finally, I turn around, I swing him around, I step in front of him, and I said, your mother is sitting right there. Find a better word. And you want to know what his answer is? Well, that's the way she talks. And I turned around to him, and I said to him, I don't care, but you as her son should have more respect than using that word in front of your mother. That's all I'm saying, Jesse. Find a better word in my salon or else shut up. I'm not going to sit here with you throwing F-bombs when your mother is sitting right there, you 21-year-old snot nose. Mm-hmm. So I called him out. I said, fine, I'm not doing it. And Kathy Ann, she wouldn't say anything. I'm like, no. I stopped, turned him around and said, no, find another word. It's not acceptable in my salon. It just isn't. But that was my point, was saying, he's 21. Even Justin Angel. No, I'm sorry. My daughter does not speak to me like that. She does not use words like that. To this day, 27 years old, if I go like this, do you know what that means to my daughter? My daughter will stand toe to toe with me, her hands on her side, look up at me and go, yes, mama. Mm-hmm. That's respect. And I'm not meant to scare her. It's just that she's always known when I talk to you about certain things and I go like this, it means I need your undivided attention right now in front of me now. And if I don't have to say a word and I do this, you've learned very well, my darling. I love you. I love you.
That's what you do. You want love and respect. And I just want to mention this. So we've been to Trump rallies. And this is what I've noticed. The younger people, like the really younger people who were there, were not disruptive. I mean, you got ramrods anywhere you go. But I'm
that's what I'm talking about. It's different, right?
They're different. They weren't like rebel rising. They weren't trying to tear things up. They weren't screaming, crying, carrying on. None of that stuff.
They want a better life.
They were happy. You just hit it. They want better.
They want better.
Garbage that's been force fed for generations.
They don't want it. And that's what's going to save us right now. It really is.
And the homeschool kids are the best. You can put me in a room of 1,000 kids. I'm going to pick the homeschooled ones. I'm going to know which ones are.
Yeah. Did I tell you I was asked?
They're the smartest. They're the smartest. They're attentive. They speak well.
Well, because they have that insurance, that support. And
they're not being taught that. Well, today, if you're a boy and you think you're a girl, that's okay.
Use whatever bathroom you want.
Your sweetie, you think you're a cat? We'll put you a dirt sandbox in the bathroom. I can't believe
that was the worst.
Local here. That's even happening here in Alabama.
That was the worst. But that whole thing is really starting to die down, which is fantastic because, the whole thing, you had one group of people shoving things that I don't care what you want to do with yourself or how you want to do it. And I even told my daughter, so let me tell you something. There has been no better time in world history for you to dress and be who one wants to be. You want to put a dress on, young man? Go ahead. Will people laugh at you? Yes, but you can do it. You can go to school like that. You can go to church like you can do anything you want like that. So there has never been. So you know what? Find what works for you. We don't need shock value, and I don't need you to shove your style down my throat. Do it for yourself, not to prove a point to me, because your point is useless and it makes no sense, and it diverts from common sense.
Yeah, but this is what I think. I think these kids are not getting attention at home. And you know how kids are. I did it. You would do anything to get attention. They're not attention. They're not being loved at home.
I happen to agree with you 100%. I just happen to be, I am very blessed because I happen to be a room mom, class mom, PTA mom. I was dance mom. Justin Angel and I danced for the same dance company for 10 years. Every year, the same show, different number. Her senior year, we danced in the same number in front of her whole high school. Serious? Because she was that comfortable the way I raised her. It's like, I'm not going to step on. Justin Angel, I'll never forget in middle school. You know, in middle school, they're at that age where I don't need mama anymore. So all the girls, we always were on campus, and they'd go in and we'd all sit and talk. Well, I tell you, we got to middle school and all the girls told their mom, no, you have to drop me off. I'm doing this by myself. Justin Angel and I walked. I said, do you want to go by yourself? She goes, no, you got to park. Come on. We got on the playground to go to where her last name table was. Justin Angel puts her arm in mine like this and walks with me. And I stopped and I turned around to her and I said, this is the coolest thing you have ever done. So it was.
You taught her respect.
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
And I would stop her and tell her, this is the coolest thing. I kid you not. And I tell her continually, even today, I tell her, I said, you're such a cool human. I tell her, you're such a good human. I call her a good human all the time. But the thing is that you know as well as I know, I was a middle child. I had a brother and sister older and a brother and sister younger. I was the forgotten child. I kid you not. I was too big to play with the little kids. I was too little to play with the big kids. So therefore, that's where my independence came from. I kid you not, because I just never fit with them anywhere. So, you know, and with Justin Angel, it was just, you know, my mother walked away when I was 6 years old. And the best job, I had Justin Angel late in life. I was bodybuilding. All of a sudden, pregnant, meet the man I'm in love. What? Rob? Wait, hold on. But that's what my path was. And then to name her Justin Angel, and then her terrible illness, this has been the best thing for me. Because
Victoria, we've got 1 minute left.
He took me through every human emotion to become who I am. And that's what you've done. We have lived our lives, whether anybody liked what we were doing or not, Donna. The reason why we're here together is because great minds think alike. And you and I set out.
Path, and we enjoy it. We love what we do. Now, folks who are watching right now or listening right now, if it's on the radio, how can I get in contact with you if they want their voice to shine?
Okay, that's what I wanted. We are the Newscaster Studio. You can go to www.thenewscasters.com. We are a trusted source for news and a diverse perspective that we are bringing at this time. So we are asking many people to come and join us, whether you want to do a podcast or you want to do some advertising on our company. We are a new, fresh media. We have local, regional, national journalists that bring their strength, their hope, and their experience. They're both professional and citizens. That's what's so cool about this. So we are trying to amplify voices across this country where like minds think alike, and we can gain back and we can enjoy our lives again, enjoy our families again. And we don't have to sit there and worry about a holiday because we have nothing to talk about. We're on different sides. We can bridge that gap now a little bit.
Exactly. And I was going to tell you, I appreciate you guys letting me be part of this. It's huge to me. It really is. Thank you
are.
So much.
You're my girl.
You guys are a treasure. You guys are a treasure. Thank you so much. And thank you guys so much for watching. You can find us on Abundant Television. That's syndicated. Found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And do not forget the podcast. You're going to find all kinds of great talk shows there. TheNewscasters.com. TheNewscasters.com. Thanks for watching.